some odd dollars. I don't know about you, but that number seems absolutely unfathomable to me. That number is the amount of money that we, as the United States of America, are in debt. And as you can see by pressing the refresh button, it is increasing by the second. Hello, Mr. Redican, judges, classmates, and opponents. Thank you for giving me and my partner Parker the opportunity to stand in front of you today and defend our side. The resolution we are debating is as follows. Resolve that the U.S. Department of Education should mandate arts in education in all public schools. I would like to start off by defining the word all. As stated by dictionary.com, all means the whole number of or every. This means that what our opponents are proposing is that every single public school in the entire country would have to have a mandatory arts education program. Although we cannot estimate the exact amount of money that would be necessary to enforce this proposal because mandatory arts is currently decided by each individual school district, I can tell you that it will only cause local and federal debts to increase. This enormous amount of money is a serious issue in our modern day society. We, as a nation, have been battling debt as far back as our nation was started. Our economic issues are a definite problem, and funding every single public school in the U.S. for arts education should be the last thing that we do. As stated on nces.ed.gov, there are 98,706 public schools in America as of a 2008 to 2009 count. ArtsUSA.org also says that arts education costs at least $110,000 per school to implement. $110,000 times 98,706 is roughly $10 trillion. Perfect! Let's just tack that onto the current national debt and we'll be golden. But in all seriousness, nces.ed.org continued to say that 92% of all public schools that offered arts classes had full-time teachers available to teach each subject, and 91% also had classrooms dedicated for teaching only these classes in them. As you can see, the funding required to uphold even voluntary acts of art in education is starting to add up, so mandatory arts would be even more of a debt increaser. Who does the affirmative feel should have to pay for all of this? The federal government or each individual school district? If it is the federal government, which is something that would most likely never get passed, this would require a huge tax increase, which is something that would further create problems in our economy. If it were each school district, how are the inner city schools, which are much less privileged than we are here at Upper Dublin, supposed to pay for the teachers, classrooms, and equipment necessary? Either way, the funding is almost impossible to come up with and is only going to create more issues for American citizens. Instead of implementing the impractical plan that our opponents have set forth, we are proposing a much more appropriate and economically friendly plan. This plan includes creating artistic opportunities in the curriculum for core classes. This would include things such as kindergartners doing some sort of art project every month, 6th graders learning their prepositions in song, and high school seniors acting out pieces of plays that they are reading or even playing games like We Just Dance in gym classes. If you didn't realize, these are things that already happen here at Upper Dublin. For this reason alone, there is no need for change. Traditionally, core education subjects include science, math, English, and history. Why is it necessary to add a fifth? The way our school system is operated today works perfectly fine with having plenty of arts classes offered as electives. Many people have no interest in art and are not artistically inclined. Some people excel in core subjects, some sports, and some arts. There's nothing wrong with that. But no one should be forced to take a class that will not end up being beneficial to their ideal future profession. Although our opponents may attempt to say that arts improve test scores and things of that nature, Parker and I feel that this is simply because of the people who take the classes. These are the people who want to be active in the artsy classes, and therefore want to do well on their test scores. By forcing students to take arts who do not want to be there, these classes will not stimulate their brains and be an amazing transformation that our opponents are claiming will occur. The classes will simply be a painful experience for both the student and the teacher. Historically, when budget cuts need to take place in school districts, arts are the first thing to go. With this being said, we can see that arts are not the most important thing that we should be worrying about when it comes to education. The last thing we need is another huge financial addition to our school when we are currently having electives that can serve the same purpose and will actually be more beneficial. We are also proposing a community-based relationship that will offer arts throughout the community and will enhance a student's life without taking away valuable learning time during the day. In conclusion, we feel that the affirmative's plan to create a program to put mandatory arts education into public schools is almost unfair. To create and uphold such a plan is impractical, and to expect every single public elementary, secondary, and high school across the country to be able to pay that money is completely unreal. Inner city schools would never be able to come up with that money initially or be able to pay for the continued expenses for the teachers, classrooms, and equipment. Although test scores may have historically been increased due to children taking arts, if this fact was made known to the students and they still chose not to take an arts class, then there really is no reason to force them into something that they do not wish to partake in. The students that want to raise their test scores will be the ones who willingly elect to take the classes, and as students, we should have the right to that option. Parker and I are not denying the fact that arts can play a huge role in a young student's life, but mandating them in all public schools across the country would only cause more debt and inconvenience for everyone involved. Let's press refresh one last time, and thank you and vote negative.